We're ready, Joe. We're ready, Mayor.
Are we online?
Yes.
Very good. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the November Town of Port Royal Regular Council meeting. My apologies for not being able to be there in person. Our first item of business is the pledge. Councilman Ashmore, can you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we thank you for this day, this opportunity as we assemble before you. We thank you for those that we are serving on today. We thank you for the business that we are about to conduct, that it may be for the betterment of those in whom we serve. We thank you for this country. We thank you for our military and armed forces as we celebrate the veterans on tomorrow. We thank you for the service that they've rendered, for the lives that have been lost, and we also thank you for the Marine Corps as they celebrate their birthday on today. These blessings we ask in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Our next item of businesses is we've got 3 sets of minutes to approve. We've got minutes from our public hearing of October 6th, minutes from our council workshop, again, of October 6th, and minutes from our regular council meeting of October 13th. What is the pleasure of council?
Make a motion to approve all minutes as presented, sir.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any additions or deletions to the minutes?
None noted.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you. Van, updates to your council briefing.
Nothing in particular, although y'all did get a copy of the Christmas schedule. And so one of the more pressing questions that we have is to what extent do we want the festivities on the Monday evening at the Christmas tree lighting? I assume we want to go back to the way we've been handling this for the last couple of years. I mean, previous to the last couple of years, in terms of food, bag, interaction, the whole 9 yards. So
Special guest.
special guests, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think we're seeing Ned Hot. Everybody's heads are nodding across the table there. I think the answer is yes.
Other than that, I'll take any questions you might have. If not, we can move on to the agenda.
Council have any questions specifically about the briefing from last week? Any updates?
I don't have any at this time.
Hearing none. Kevin, did you say something there and I can't hear you?
Said I don't have any questions at this time.
So we'll get on to our second reading. Van, you want to go ahead and read them in the record, the ordinances, please?
Yeah, sure. Second reading. Ordinance 2021-33, an ordinance to authorize the town manager to convey excess real property to facilitate construction of sidewalks within the town, described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, Map 10, Parcel 113. This is approximately 100 feet located on 15th Street. Up on the screen is a map of the location of the property. It is in compliance with the sidewalk construction policy, and y'all have given a public hearing on this as well.
Very good, thank you. Considering we've had a public hearing, we want to open it up for public comment at this point in time. What's the pleasure of council?
I move that we approve ordinance 2021-33.
I believe I heard a motion and a second.
Yes, I made the motion.
I made
Any
the
further
second.
discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It was unanimous, thank you. Next ordinance, Ben.
All right, next is 2024. An ordinance to authorize town manager to convey excess real property to facilitate construction of sidewalks within the town described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, Map 10, parcels 384, 370, 369, 368, and 158. This is 150 feet on 12th Street. We have put a map up on the screen giving you an idea of where the property, where the sidewalk will be constructed. It is in compliance with the sidewalk construction policy, and we also held a public hearing on this one as well.
Again, the same scenario. What's the
Pleasure of council.
I move that we approve ordinance 2021-34.
Second.
Having a little bit of a hard time hearing council. Did we get a motion in a second?
Yes, we did.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Ordinance 2021. Approximately 5.18 acres of real estate located in Beaufort County, described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, Map 9, Parcel 180 in Beaufort County, South Carolina, to be rezoned from T4 Neighborhood Center to T4 Neighborhood Center Open. This is property located at 1251 Ladies Island Drive. Metro Planning Commission did not recommend the change in zoning. We do have the applicant here. Is here to answer any questions. We also held a public hearing on this particular piece of property.
Very good. Council, go ahead.
And
Mayor.
Mayor, we have the applicant at the podium. If I assume you would like to make some comment or answer some questions.
Be happy to answer any questions. I've been before this council, I think, 3 times, one on first reading and 2 workshops. I also went to the Metropolitan Planning Organization meeting to explain the rezoning request. Just to briefly recap, is a tract of land that is currently utilized as a senior living facility. It was a senior living facility when the existing T4 zoning was imposed. It made that a non-conforming use since senior living facility was not allowed in T4 NC. But it's grandfathered, so they can continue the use. The property is now being sold, and the purchaser is no longer going to use it as a senior living facility. And if they were, it would continue to be a grandfathered use. They're going to make it into a behavioral health community residence licensed by DHEC. So since there's a change in use, that grandfather status no longer would apply. And so the request is to zone it from T4 NC to T4 NC open. There is an adjacent tract, T4 NC open tract, the purple and white shaded line to the left of the site. The Metropolitan Planning Commission did not recommend in favor of the zoning, but when they made that non-recommendation, I did not have the opportunity to be present. I wasn't notified of that meeting. So I did go to a subsequent meeting and explain to them the reason for the rezoning request, how it wasn't going to result in any more traffic since the tract is already built out. And they indicated that while they appreciated the points I had to make, they felt like they didn't have jurisdiction over the matter anymore, so they couldn't change what they had recommended earlier, even if they had wanted to. So in any event, that's the history behind this, and I'm happy to answer any questions y'all might have.
Lynn, what were the MPC's chief, concerns?
Traffic.
Traffic congestion just coming out of there? What, would there ever be the possibility of a light going up there? You got a lot of cars coming out of Port Royal Landing and Marina, a lot of cars coming off of the bridge there, a lot of traffic coming out of there.
Right.
I know there's a red light just right down the road from it. I have talked with the other businesses in that area, and they actually support it. So I'm just trying to get my head around it a little bit. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, depending upon the use utilized within the use table within this request and zoning change, it could require a traffic impact analysis. Now, because of what they're anticipating using for now, that would probably not be necessary, and because the traffic generated would be very similar to what's there now. If they were ever to attempt to use another use that would generate, I think it's what is the threshold, 50
peak hour trips.
50 peak hour trips, that would trigger the traffic impact analysis. And based upon that, they may be required to address the interface between that facility and Ladies Island Drive, which could require signalization or something similar to that. So if there was a dramatic increase in traffic volume based upon an anticipated use, they would have to mitigate that impact there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's a
And I
good
don't see
point I
this
meant to make
impacting
earlier.
that.
I guess it's theoretically possible if this rezoning happens, someone can come along and knock down that entire complex, and that wouldn't be economical, but they could do that and try to put in a different business. But as Mr. Van Willis says, if that then entailed more traffic, there is an analysis that will have to be done, so there's a backstop there to guard against that in case that were to happen. Although it's extraordinarily unlikely somebody's going to tear down $3 or $4 million worth of buildings and do something more traffic intense. But Mr. Van Willis is right, that backstop would be there.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the upzoning. I'm worried about if it doesn't work out, what impact it's going to have on all the neighbors that are already there. It's been a concern for the traffic prior to this happening. And then, if they did knock it down, they could put a car dealership there, a gas station, which we already got on the other corner. I just think there's a lot of concerns about it. I'm not saying that I'm voting either way. What I'm saying is there is some issues. And
well, I guess what I would, and it's a good point, Ms. Hayward, but I guess what I would say is if it was going to be knocked down and something put in there that would involve more traffic, there would be that analysis requirement, and they would have to address that with signalization. So you make a fair point. I mean, it is theoretically possible, but you do have that backstop.
Right. Yeah. And no, it would require an impact. Is that correct? Impact study. The use.
On the volume,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I think one of the things we have to consider, council, is that, I understand, and we all received emails from our NPC representatives still supporting their original decision to not approve this. But that decision is being made because of traffic, and that traffic is there because we're the thoroughfare to Ladies Island. And do we restrict economic growth on our corridor so that the cars can get to Ladies Island? Or does the traffic warrant the traffic light being put in? And maybe they got to slow down a little bit getting up and off that bridge, so it allows that we can have the businesses and the development that we would like along this corridor. That's what keeps running around in my head. And as I think about this, we can't just say that because of that corridor, we can't add another car into there. Maybe what we need to do is push the issue of getting the traffic slowed down on the McTier Bridge to 45 miles an hour in both directions, and get the traffic light installed, because it is also a pedestrian crossing in a pedestrian area. It's been operating under this non-conforming use for years. The cars are probably not going to increase or change much from what's there now, what would be used. And we've just got to get that on the list. As we know, the Ladies Island plan has that intersection in to be evaluated over the next couple of years. Van, maybe you can add a little bit to that. And we just need to push the issue of what needs to be done with the traffic and slowing them down.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, Mayor. I know for a fact we have, this council, maybe not everybody sitting here, but we have numerous times met with SDOT, is that not correct, Mr. Willis? Trying to get them to change that speed limit because it's so bad when people coming off the bridge, they might be doing 45 across the bridge. By the time they hit the bottom, they've already took that big slope and coming down. So, I think that, there is a concern about traffic. We would have to do an impact study, which is great, but I still think that SDOT needs to change that traffic speed limit.
Just so I
There's
can
anything.
understand, what reasons have they given in the past, Van, for not slowing the traffic down if the traffic count isn't warranted?
Well, yeah, the number of movements coming out of Port Royal Landing and the property that you're looking at, it's if obviously this process, if it has to warrant any sort of change in speed limit or any sort of change to the configuration as to adding a signal, adding stop signs, anything like that. And right now, neither did that, and they also had the concern because of the through traffic from Ladies Island in that corridor. DOT's job is to move as many cars as quickly as they can through their road system, which is obviously sometimes at odds with what planners would like to see. So, that's where it is.
Yeah, I just want on record that those are issues that we need to.
Definitely issue that.
Well, let's go ahead and bring it up to the dais. And what's the pleasure of council?
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2021-35.
I second.
I could not hear that. Can somebody repeat, please?
Kevin made the motion and Jerry did the second.
To approve?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And any further discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none, all in favor of approving the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It was unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. The next ordinance is 2021-36, an ordinance creating Chapter 12, Section 82 of the Port Royal Ordinances regulating ice cream trucks in the town of Port Royal. One of the things that was not included in the current zoning code or town code, if you will, it was any sort of allowance for ice cream trucks, and similar to what both Bluffton and Beaufort have done to accommodate ice cream trucks, we have offered an amendment to our code allowing ice cream trucks to service the town of Port Royal.
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2021-36.
I'll second.
I'm sure one of you second that?
Correct.
Is the ice cream truck sitting outside waiting to serve you after this vote?
No, because you're not here, and they said they couldn't come when you weren't here.
We'll get something done real quick then. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by a big aye.
Aye. Scream.
Ice cream, very good. Thank you very much for that.
Can't wait till the truck comes riding through town.
We're at first readings.
First reading's 2021-37. An ordinance adopting an update to the Town of Port Royal Comprehensive Plan as required under South Carolina Code of Laws, Section 6-29-510E. I'm going to defer to Noah a little bit here, but you do have a recommendation for the Metro Planning Commission. Maybe you could address some of their stipulations. Sure. Which we've done previously. Previously, we did have, like I said, I mentioned the presentation. We'll have public hearings, but Noah's here to answer any questions. He knows the code backwards and forwards.
So yes, we did. I gave a presentation last week on the comprehensive plan 10-year update. Just to refresh you, this is a required update at the state level so that our local regulations are backed up by state legislation, us meeting the requirements of state legislation. There are a few stipulations that come along with the Planning Commission's recommendation, one of which is to make sure that our future land use maps that are included in this new document are including the full scope of our jurisdiction. There are some maps that, for the sake of conveying certain information, we've left off Lemon Island and Rose Island, knowing that there are conservation
Preservation.
Conservation, preservation. Preservation measures taken out there, and so that is one thing. Is Planning Commission would like to see us include those areas even when it is not pertinent to the information, the information that specific map is conveying. I'm sorry. The other major thing is we have broken this document out into themes rather than based on the required elements for a comprehensive plan. So you'll see interwoven elements throughout each chapter or theme in the document. One thing we did not do was give any indication at the beginning of each themed chapter which elements are being included in that chapter, so we're going to be adding that clarification to the beginning of each chapter. And then the third stipulation is to do a staff level editing process of the actual phrasing, writing, grammar, spelling, and all of that. Which may or may not be assisted by the technical review committee. And I believe those are, yeah, those are all.
Jeremy, considering you weren't just
With the presentation, do you have any specific questions, or are you okay to move forward now?
I'm good, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, but I'm good to go.
Very good. Noah, what do you think the timeline is to get those in place and take us to a public hearing and a third? Or are we going to follow our normal process, or are you going to extend out a little bit before we get to the public hearing and the second reading?
The consultant
is aware of the changes that need to be made.
The Planning Commission has asked for a deadline of December 1st so that it's here for public hearing and workshop, and then first reading would be on the 8th. I'm going to push them for a week ahead of that so that there's time to review for council as well as the public to be able to provide comment if they choose. So that would be
Very good. I appreciate that.
that might actually be the week of Thanksgiving, but I'll.
Council have any questions for Noah? If not, what's the pleasure of council?
I'll move that we approve the first reading of ordinance 2021-37.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second. We have a motion and a second, sir.
We have a second.
Very good, thank you. Sorry, the sound is breaking up a little on my end, I apologize. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It was unanimous. Thank you very much. Thanks, Noah, for all your work. We look forward to the update.
All right, we'll move on to council action appointments. The first item is Parks and Recreation. We have two reappointments. They are Charlotte Murray and Michael Merrow, and they both have agreed to continue their service.
Any of them here?
Good. Council, do we have a motion?
I make a motion. We reappoint Charlotte and Michael to the Parks and Rec.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It was unanimous.
And just, we do have John Hazel here as the chair of Parks and Recreation. I failed to recognize him during the council briefing. I don't know, John, you want to add anything? Or you want me to forward the minutes, or you got anything you'd like to?
I've got a couple things that I can throw in there.
Great.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, good evening. So what we came, last month I went to the Low Country JC's meeting and coordinated with them. They are going to do a park cleanup on November the 20th at 10 a.m. at the John Parker Park on Casablanca. They've also talked about possibly adopting it under them to do park cleanup, which would help out tremendously, lighten the load on our Public Works Division, I'm sure. With that, what we have decided as the Parks and Rec Commission, starting in January after the holidays, we're going to take one park every month and we'll put it out in the newsletter, and we'll go out and request volunteers. You know, anybody wants to come out and help out, we'll pick one park and we'll go and do a cleanup every month as the Parks Commission and any town members that would like to volunteer to come and help out. So we've got that going on right now.
What's the time?
For
November 20th.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Send us an email
That
on
was
that.
20th at 10 a.m.?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
And then,
Appreciate all that you're doing.
yes, sir. And none of y'all don't mind. I do have something I'd like to, for the masses. It's not Parks and Rec related, but the AMVETS has put out information. There is an indigent internment on Thursday, 18 November at 10:30, where they'll be having a military honors and a forget-me-not ceremony for 4 indigent veterans, 3 soldiers and 1 Marine. So that'll be at the Beaufort National Cemetery at 10:30 on the 18th.
Thank you.
And
I'll close with happy birthday to my Marine Corps and all my fellow Marines.
John.
Thank you, John. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Let's don't forget about the rowing group that wanted to come to Port Royal to the Port Royal rowing group if they come here. Just kind of keep it on the forefront.
We had a very extensive discussion with them yesterday.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you didn't mention it, so I just want to be sure we didn't forget it.
We're still processing all the information we received yesterday. The second item under council action is approval of garbage contract. We did receive 3 bids, one from Capital Waste Service, the other from Low Country Sanitation, and the third from Waste Pro. Annual cost anticipated for Capital Waste Service is $460,548.24. Sorry. Second was from Low Country Sanitation for $393,948. The third was from Waste Pro, $328,890.84. This is a 2-year contract with potential options of a year, 3 years after that. Obviously, there's a pretty wide difference between the 3 bids in terms of cost. I enclosed in your folders a recommendation for selection. Obviously, there are a number of factors that went into this. Obviously, cost is one of the considerations as well. So I'll open the floor for questions. Brooke pulled this together for us. I should have let her read off the quotes from you there, but that's where we are in terms of the bids. We just need to make a determination as to who we'd like to provide the service.
Council have any
questions for Van
Brooke on this process or the bid?
I don't have any questions.
Hearing no questions?
I have no questions either. I think the process itself was done in diligence. Kind of disappointed in the pricing, but again, the process itself was definitely conducted efficiently. Proficiently.
Make a comment just for the public to know. So the difference, a yearly difference between the lowest bid and the next bid is about $65,000 a year. And then the top bid is about $130,000 a year. So that's a pretty big chunk of change considering our budget. And then also going through the contract with Waste Pro that we currently have, you know, that contract can be terminated with a 30-day notice. So I think my recommendation, my thoughts on that is they definitely, in financial responsibility, are very much the most economically efficient. And if we're having issues, I think just a little due diligence from council, let's just keeping tabs on them. And if we have a problem, you know, give them a notice, give them a heads up. And if we need to terminate them, we can do it. So we have that option if we need to.
I'm going to echo the sentiments of Councilman Phillips also. I'm in the best interest of the town to be a good steward over that which has been entrusted to us. But also we have teeth. I asked that question last week. What are the grounds that we would have? What type of repercussion do we have if the services are compromised and so forth? So we do have that in the contract. And so I'll stand with that. And as I said, and support what is, I believe, in the best interest of the town.
So Councilman Owens and Councilman Phillips, would you like to turn those statements into a motion?
At this time, I recommend that we accept the Waste Pro contract for our garbage contract for the next 2 years.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seem to be struggling sometimes on hearing a second.
We do have a second.
I was trying to wave at you.
I saw that right there in a minute. Very, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 No.
All those opposed?
One opposition.
Opposed? One opposed. Thank you, Councilman Ashmore.
All right, the next item is approval of agreement with 303 Associates for a corridor study. What you have in your folder is a proposed public-private partnership agreement. What started out as an effort to evaluate the intersection of Edinburgh Vinay and Rebo Road and consider what potentially could happen in those particular areas. You know, we have been contemplating how to address that corridor in particular, and so it's my suggestion that we maybe consider expanding the scope of that charrette and agreement to contemplate basically from Burger King to the bridge, and resulting from that is the public-private partnership agreement that you have in front of you. And just real quickly, a couple of things that are stipulated in the agreement for 303 to do and for the town to do. I'll start with 303. Pay the expenses as outlined in the proposal not to exceed $47,000. Provide 2 representatives to serve on the steering committee. Provide meeting space if needed. Provide such economic analysis and plans as may be available. And the 5th is to cooperate in such other ways as may be helpful in facilitating a successful project. The town agrees to provide 2 representatives to serve on the steering committee. Provide information and plans as may be helpful in the planning and design process. Provide meeting space for the project. Cooperate in such other ways as may be helpful in facilitating a successful project. And 5, consider requests from 303 to credit an amount equal to 50% of the cost of this project as a credit against traffic impact fees that would otherwise be paid by 303 for development. So I think those are reasonable requests considering the scope. I did include in your packets the study from Arnett Muldrow that they proposed to do. Obviously, running parallel to this is there's some discussion about reinventing Rebo that involves some components of traffic management as well as some planning that the county was undertaking. And as I mentioned to all of you, I think this is a positive step that maybe create a blueprint for what we would like to see in terms of land use and redevelopment along this corridor. We do have Representative 303 here who may want to answer any questions or speak on behalf. Otherwise, we can move on with the discussion.
Thank you, members of council. Mr. Mayor, Van. We've been investing in the corridor for a number of years, and we recently were told by our insurance agents that some of our aging buildings are not going to be insurable if we don't replace roofs and do a lot of other deferred maintenance. It goes back to the 1960s and 70s. In addition to that, some other changes. Some new folks bought the property across the street where they tore down that 4-story building that I think you're familiar with, and they're deciding what to do with their property. Some new folks bought the former convenience store and the building where Help is, and they're trying to decide what they want to do with their property because Help is moving. So I approached Van and said, 3 of the 4 corners there would like to know what to do. Do you mind if we have a charrette and see if we could have figured that out and plan it? And as usual, Van was very cooperative with that. And then he also suggested that perhaps it could be expanded to cover from the Bell Bridge to the city limits. So we asked the folks who gave us a proposal if they'd be willing to do that. And they were not only willing to do it, they were willing to do it at no additional cost. So that's how we got where we're at. Speaking as a private citizen, my view of this situation is there's a lot going on. What's happening with the port, what's happening with the county and the transportation activities down there. The mayor was quoted in our local newspaper as saying that the Rebo Road corridor is an important corridor, and you want to see some economic development there. I think they also reported that a nearby city with lesser population has a significantly higher commercial tax base than you folks do. And as somebody who's sat in public office and tried to balance budgets, commercial tax bases can be very important. So we don't need to do anything. We can just keep flipping coupons and wait for what happened. But if you got 3 out of the 4 corners, and the folks with the self-storage, I'm sure would be interested in what's going on, we're happy to participate in doing whatever we can do to help the town achieve whatever your vision might be. And we're not interested in getting out there on our own and doing something sort of strange and different. So that's the reason we're here. And we're happy to be partners with you folks. We respect the town and respect what you're trying to do. That's all, but I'm happy to answer the question.
So I guess I have a question. I don't have a problem with the approval of the agreement. My concern is that's not going to do away with the redevelopment. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure, clarify that. Well, I make a motion that we approve the agreement with 303 Associates for the corridor study, and I'd like to be a part of that.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion.
I'll just say for the purpose of the record, the reason why I think this is really important is because the county has started to indicate that they are going to push next year for another penny transportation tax. And we kind of saw how the last one went and how north of the Broad was treated and where all that money went. So if history is any guide, it would be great for us to have this done. This is scheduled to be done by March. It would give us a baseline. It would give us something to bounce. Whatever they say, we would have our own evidence, our own, again, just baseline to really kind of counter whatever they bring to us. So that's what I think is great, because the county is going to come forward next year, or they're indicating that they're going to, next November, try to put another penny sales tax on for transportation. And again, last time they did it, I think, how much did come north of the Broad?
Well, the town specifically had about 50,000 of the 120 million.
We got 50,000 of $120 million, so.
Kind of left us out.
Thank you for those comments.
Anybody else? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Look forward to
Unanimous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Important information and dates. Thursday, November 11th, from 1 to 4 p.m. is a salute to service at the Naval Heritage Park here in Port Royal. Friday and Saturday, November 12th and 13th is bands, brews, and barbecue. I hear we've got some celebrity wing judges here, so we're excited about that. And the town has its own team participating in the contest, and I'll let, well, I don't know if Brooke wants to reveal her secrets, but they have a team that they put together with some of the police department. I don't know if you want to tell them.
There's four of us, so Captain Massey, Chief Beach, and Deputy Chief Ron, and myself. Our team name is Pigs in a Chick, and we're looking forward. This is our first year, and we're looking forward to seeing what we can throw at the competition.
Awesome.
Very
I
good.
like that.
He said last time he was gonna do one this time.
Very good.
All right, then Thursday and Friday, November 25th and 26th, will be closed in observance of Thanksgiving. Then Wednesday, December 1 at 6 p.m. is the Christmas tree lighting at Live Oak Park adjacent to Port Royal Elementary School. And we are coordinating with them on logistics and our special guests. So we're looking forward to
How
that.
about the Beaufort Christmas Parade? I didn't see that on here. Do we?
That's the 5th, isn't it? We are doing it, right? We're gonna have.
Good. Anything else? Any
We're
other
around a boat.
council have any
Yeah,
other
we need to figure out. what
information or dates they want to pass on?
I imagine we'll do the boat like we've done in the past.
We have a 6-person golf cart now,
Oh, that's good too.
Whatever.
Okay, we'll do the golf cart.
easily designed, and one of y'all can drive it.
Santa could be on the back.
There you go. Or Santa could drive.
I think we need to check his license for sure.
Yeah.
All right, council comments. Councilman,
I do.
anybody have any comments they'd like to make?
I do. Last month, I made a comment that I had approved for the wetlands to get the money to the Cypress wetlands. And I also said that I approved the amount. It's incorrect. I did make the motion to approve it, but I did not make the motion for the amount. It was not included. Our town manager has the right to make the amount up to $5,000, and we gave that approval. But I made only the motion to do that. So I wanted to make that correction tonight to let people know that when I said that last month, I should not have included that we had approved the amount. It was only for the donation to Mr. Pete Richards for the Cypress.
Very good. Any other council members have anything they'd like to add, any comments?
I'll say a comment. Speaking of Pete Richards, the county just opened up the fort out on St. Helena.
Fremont.
Fremont, and it's impressive what they've done out there. I went to the grand opening, and I was unaware that Pete had so much to do with that and being a Friends of the Fort. But no, if you get a chance to go out there, it's amazing how different it
It
is.
hosted my boy's birthday party.
It's awesome.
Sure did.
It's a pretty awesome what they've done out there. If you get a chance, check it out.
And just real quickly, in discussions with his wife Betsy to coordinate the plaque dedication at Cypress Wetlands for all the work he did with Cypress Wetlands, organizing the Friends group, the events that we held, coordinating our support with the Audubon Society. So I'll get that date on the calendar here shortly.
Good.
I just
And
wanted
Ben,
to.
is there any update on the Porter's Chapel? Or do we need to rethink what we're trying to do there?
Somebody above my pay grade probably needs to reach out and coordinate their attendance.
Very good.
Can't reach it now.
Councilman Owens, maybe you and I can get together and figure out what we need to do.
And if we're not successful, I think we just need to move on.
We've reached to the, I mean, we can, I think we obviously need to do a ribbon cutting for that.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're ready to install the sign and the whole 9 yards, so.
We'll make another effort.
We'll make one, I think y'all should make one more effort to see if we can do that, and otherwise we do it.
Fair enough.
Okay, and Darren, you said once before that you thought you had a contact, so let's
Well, I
figure something out.
I provided that, was it a number or address?
It was the address.
I provided the address, that's I have contact with the family member, but, the person that we need doesn't live here, so.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I got a couple of remarks to make, if you'll allow me, sir. First off, I want to say congratulations to our Councilman Darrell and Mary Beth. Look forward to working with you for the next couple of years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, second off, if you'll just allow me a moment to just say, kind of speak from the heart for a minute. There's no doubt it's been a tough couple of weeks for me and my family. I want to tell you a little bit about my family. There was 4 children, and Mama and Daddy, and when we were growing up, we had a drug problem. My mother drug us to church. She drug us to Bible school. She drug us to sports, and she drug us everywhere. And I think she laid the foundation of the adult I am today. I know she did of the parent I am today, and the service to my community, and also the Christian that I am today. And I thank my mother for that. You know, no doubt I am a mama's boy, so losing her hurts. I appreciate everyone's thoughts, your prayers, your text messages, your phone calls. You helped this mama's boy through a dark period in his life, and I appreciate it. And grace and peace to you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're here for you.
Thank you.
Jerry, if you could do me a favor, because I can't see the public, if you could lead the public comment section and see if there's anybody there in the audience that would like to speak before council.
Yes, we do have one, sir. I'm sorry. I've got one pink slip here, and this is a non-agenda item. I've got Miss Mayor Deckard that's put in a request. Mayor?
Thank you, Councilman. There has been a change to my agenda item, so I will speak on it after this meeting.
Okay. She said there's been a change to her agenda item, so she'll speak at another time. And that's the only one I have, sir.
But Whit is here. Maybe he has some good news for us.
I have some delightful news I would love to share with y'all if I was able to do so this time.
You're in the hot seat.
Everything is going very, very well. This is a complicated process, and it is honestly going very well. We have accomplished something very significant now, and but as I see it, all these accomplishments just put another goal in front of us. I'm super excited about where we are, what we're about to do, and look forward to waking up early in the morning to attack the next part of it. But we are tomorrow. As best description I give to you, we had several things that were tightened up today with legal work and stuff that had to be done, as we often do. With, say, for example, Lawrence. We come up with a thing, then Lawrence has got to write paperwork, and they got to write paperwork. They had to do the same on tiny issues, and then tomorrow is both a bank holiday and the county. We can't record anything either as well. So, I want to provide the greatest amount of comfort that I can without necessarily saying, the fireworks are off. And honestly, I would say this for my own part. I have no intention of setting off really any fireworks. When we get this done, we are right back to working our butts off on other stuff, and I hope y'all will help and join me in that. We've got a lot to do here in this town. We've got a lot of a special place to deal with, and let's all put our best efforts. I'm excited, but I'm also on the edge of almost nervousness in terms of what we have to do going forward. We have to be on our best game going forward. We have a really special opportunity, and we should do the best way that we can with it. So I can't tell y'all how much I appreciate this town, and this administration, how y'all put all this stuff together, this management group. It's been wonderful, and we should be proud of ourselves. We've done well to this point, and the real race is about to begin. So thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Whit.
Thank you for the cliffhanger.
We're still sitting on line.
It's good. As long as you still want to bill a few more hours, we can be done.
No offense.
I think that's all we have, Mayor.
That's it.
That's all we have.
That's it.
there anybody else in the public? We're good?
I believe that's it, sir. We're good to go.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.